Okay, so today we are out in our garden, our vegetable garden. So for the longest time we were using a sprinkler to get water into our garden, our vegetable garden.
So there was one tap and they stretched a hose around.
Right.
The sprinkler had to be moved every, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, because there were like little sections, little raised beds that then the guy would just move the sprinkler from here to there. So anyway, there's this company, a local company called Sun Culture. Oh, but they have like this mist irrigation thingy bob, and it's amazing. They just came by and they're installing it. I hope you can see it.
Oh yeah.
You can see it, like little mist things.
They have mist and drip.
Right.
The mist can be installed with wider spaces in between the lines, so you don't have to install as many lines. It covers more ground for less money, but it uses more water because there's a lot of waste as it sprays through the air. They also do drip, but the lines have to be installed more frequently along every row of plants that you want to have. And we have a little bit of drip installed over there. If you want to walk over there after a bit, we can show you
Right,
that.
we'll show you the... So yeah, we're very excited. We're going to do a couple more, well, different types of... Actually, we want to focus on African leafy vegetables like managu, terere, and all that stuff.
They're green, that's all I know.
Yeah, they're greens. They're like, it's called, some of them are called like, I guess the English names would be like the African nightshade.
It doesn't sound like we should eat that.
Yeah, it doesn't it? But it's so tasty. There's like amaranth, stuff like that.
Anyway, these are the drip lines, and they're just much more frequent. We haven't attached the actual tubing yet. Just not finishing up the drip lines. We've run several rows of them here, and I'm stretching out the last row of 3.
I was gonna say the guy just told me that he recently did like an 8-acre plot, 8 acres in Kitengela, and that took a whole week. No, was it 2 weeks? I think he said 2 weeks. Yeah. I could see why. I mean, it's like gotta do all these connections at every bed, and they were doing drip, which takes longer.
More lines.
Yeah, more lines. 3 lines on a bed. But it's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It feels like it's raining, right?
Mm-hmm.
It smells beautiful.
It makes a nice sound. The birds are flying through the water. They must like that.
I'm sure it's cooling them too.
Yeah. Of course, now they're going to come around and eat everything that we plant again.
Right. Do you see how the wind is like flowing?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes the wind goes this way and the mist goes back that way.
It makes you want to just hang out here and read a book or something. That's why you have to keep these big bamboo things behind us, whatever these are, these palm trees.
Yeah, I don't know what they are.
These trees are what tell me that I'm not in Kansas anymore. I was never in Kansas. Toto, we're not in Ohio anymore.
So I think just like running this in the morning for an hour should be plenty.
Seems like it. Look at that.
Yeah.
You want to do it before the sun's up, right?
Right. So that your plants weather better. And it's better to do it in the morning than in the evening, because in the evening there's not enough time for the plants to dry off.
Yeah.
Then you get diseases, blight or whatever.
They're wet overnight.
Right.
I spent my last several days preparing the line up to this point, so all of the hard piping is what I've been working on. And that runs back to our big water tank that sits over there. I haven't tried this yet. It works. Good. In American dollars, how much was this about?
About $400.
$400.
Yeah.
That's like nothing.
Yeah.
And that covers.
Actually, it's not even $400. It's $350.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is about 0.4 acres.
It's a tiny space.
This is the mess of pipes below the tank that I worked on. This pipe that goes straight down heads out to another garden that's just a couple of taps out there. So I added a shutoff valve and a tap here so we can get water when we need. And then here is this little split that goes over to a water filter, and that runs over to our garden with the new drip and mist irrigation. And unfortunately, when we turned it on, I had a couple of leaks in just a few spaces here. There was a really slow drip down here, and a little drip and a spray coming out here. So I patched them up. I'm sure it's not the best way to do it, but short of tearing it apart and adding more joints and connecting, this is what I did. So this is me turning it back on. I'm going to close that tap. First I'll open the main tap, sending water down toward the garden. Wait, I might have the garden turned on right there. I think I'll go turn it on. Okay, so I've closed the tap over at the garden so it doesn't start sprinkling. So the water is only going through here. And this leak was so slow before, it might not even show up for now. Kind of wrapped it with this plastic fabric and coated it as much as I could with the PVC glue. And put a couple of those zip ties around it just to make sure it holds on there real tight. And send this one down. So far, no leaks. That makes me happy. I've been frustrated with not being able to tell how much water is in there because it's 12 feet up off the ground. I have no way of easily climbing up there to look inside or tap on the side. So today I'm going to install a water level gauge. I had the idea of using a float inside and a pulley and a weight on the outside, so it would kind of be the opposite. When the float is low in the tank, the meter would be high, and then as the float rises up and it reaches halfway, the meter would come down to half, and then as the float reaches the top to full, then the meter would be all the way down at the bottom. And I had that idea and then looked on YouTube and saw several other people have done things like that. I think some products are called reverse float gauges. One guy did a really slick one where he had 4 pulleys, and in the middle he had a counterweight, so when the float goes up, the counterweight goes down, and that way the float and the gauge both stay together and go up and down. And that's more sophisticated than this needs to be. I just want to get it done and have some clue about how much water is up inside. Here's the system that I've got rigged up. I've got 2 pulleys, and this string will go from the gauge, this tennis ball, it has several washers inside, so it's heavy. This will hang on the outside of the tank, and then on the inside of the tank I've got this jug, and there's some water in there to weigh it down just a little bit. But then this bit of rain gutter will get mounted on top to protect the mechanism. I'm up on top of the tank now. There's our garden over there, and you can see the stuff starting to pop up. Alright, I've got my pulleys attached and a little hole going down into the tank so the string can pass down in. The string comes up and ties to my float that goes inside. The other end of the string is tied to this ball. I'll have to adjust that after I put it in. I haven't tried anything yet. Let's see what happens. Set this down in the water. The tank is about half full today. And put that down. It's too long right now because it reaches the bottom, so I'll have to shorten that string. And it would be easier to adjust this when the tank was either full or empty. So I'll have to make kind of an eyeball. I could count rings there and see, figure out exactly how full it is right now. Okay, the tennis ball is suspended. I measured the depth and then kind of inverted it. And the weight of the tennis ball is really good. It's able to hold the float, so the water, the part of the float that has the water in it is underwater, but the rest of it is sticking up, so that's really great. Now I just need to attach my guard on top of it, and it'll be done. There it is. The water is up to the 9th little ridge, so about down here. And then you have to imagine from where it flattens out up here down to there. So the water is that deep when it's really that deep.